Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time. Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time for a little fire and ice.
Please do not know it's ever a good time for fire and ice.
What happens when you mix fire and ice?
Warm water, baby.
It's bubbling, baby. Warm water. Warm water.
It is a Saturday afternoon. That means it's time for a little fire and ice. Mike Tipton, Brandon, the Iceman Cone, hanging out with you here at the newly remodeled Buffalo Wild Wings. Brandon, it's brighter in here.
Beautiful.
It looks nicer in here, at least to me. I feel like it looks a lot nicer in here. But they've got some awesome specials. Once again, the address is 665 Sunland Park Drive. Brandon, let everyone know what the specials are.
They have this shtick that I really like. The Pick Six meal for two, starting at $19.99. You get 2 fountain drinks. That was nice and loud. 2 entrees, 2 sides. He does it every time. And also, Tuesdays, BOGO 50% on traditional wings. 6, 10, or 15. Thank you, Mr. Sir. Also, Thursday, BOGO on boneless wings. 6, 10, or 15. New drinks, they have a Shooter Jack Daniels Blackberry. Also, salted caramel espresso martinis. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried an espresso martini, but they are, without a doubt, phenomenal.
I have never tried one, but I saw it on the menu. And I said, you know what? Whenever we go back, whenever we come over here to do fire and ice one more time, I think I'm getting myself an espresso martini.
If you get one, I'd get one because they are damn good. I've had one, once in a blue moon, but it's a delicious drink if you like martinis, which I do enjoy a good martini occasion. Also, happy hour late night, 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, every day, $2 off all tall crafts and $6 apps on top of other drink specials. Great shticks going on here.
I mean, I'm excited about it. I want to try the martini. I'm trying to think, so I've had like an apple tea, but I don't think I've had like a traditional martini.
So if you have a traditional, you are a manly fella, and it's okay to have a martini. That's also as you say, manly drink. But I will say this much: for me, if you like the stronger traditional martini, I would suggest martini with vodka. If you don't mind olives, then get it dirty. They put a little olive juice in there. Or if you want a more botanical flavor, then you go with a gin martini. But honestly, martini's a damn good drink, and they won't get you feeling good after a while, let me tell you, because it's pure booze.
Thank goodness I'm the designated driver for me.
Yes, you are. Thank God,
There you go. Our guy Tommy Canonzo tuned into the show over on YouTube saying, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Tommy? Hope that you're having yourself a great day." Brandon, the end of the NFL season has come and passed with the Super Bowl. Without a shadow of doubt, the most boring game of all time. Or not most boring, but it's up there. It's got to be one of the most boring games in Super Bowl history. Big game history, because we can't call it the Super Bowl right now. But real quick, because I don't want to dwell on it, I don't think there's anything we can say that hasn't already been said. Congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. Congrats to Sam Darnold. What was your takeaway from that god-awful game?
It was pathetic. It really was. I mean, when the commercials are more entertaining than the game, then you're in for a long Super Bowl. It just, was not a good game. I mean, unfortunately, New England was way outmatched and outclassed, and some people are saying, "Oh, Drake May sucks." Well, no, you just played a historically good defense. I mean, that defense would have made any quarterback look bad, especially as good and as hot as they got at the right time. Very happy for Sam Darnold, because out of all the class of 2018 quarterbacks, you would have thought he would have been the one to never win a Super Bowl or the last one to win a Super Bowl. Again, you always want to say that, hey, look, this team's going to be good for a long time, but not only is Seattle an extremely well-coached team, they are for sale, which is intriguing. What a way to go out to win a championship when you're selling the team. But in terms of their defense, that defense is going to be really good for a long time. Sam Darnold has finally found a great home in his niche, and Smith and Jigma is unbelievable. Finally, they fed Walker III. He is going to be their cash cow from now on. They finally used him the way they should have been using him all year. This team will be good for a long time. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. They're awesome. Good for them.
It's so hard for me to say that they're going to be good for a long time, because I look at that division.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the same apprehension that I have with the New England Patriots, where everyone's like, "Oh, New England's going to be there for a long time." New England caught lightning in a bottle, right? Like they were able to be the beneficiary of the Buffalo Bills just being an all-time choking type team.
Unbelievable.
They were the beneficiary of no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. Josh Allen didn't do what he was supposed to do. They got, Denver Broncos team without a Bo Nix. And I really feel like if Bo Nix was able to stay healthy, was able to make it to the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, we might be talking about a completely different game here. It would have been more entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, I still would have liked Seattle, but definitely Denver would have been a much better matchup. It would have been a much closer and better Super Bowl because then you would have had two superior defenses. And, New England, you can't take away from anything they did and accomplished just because you can't pick who you play. And they were able to get to the Super Bowl. And I do think that Drake May is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. He's really, really good. And they have a lot of good weapons. And I like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. Who knows if you'll ever get back? It's to be determined, but I think they're going to be good for a while as well, too.
Yeah, and Chris Collingswood on NBC pointed out that one shortcoming Drake had was timing and accuracy. Okay, take that too.
Yeah.
Had he mastered those, he wouldn't have thrown as many panic throws as he did.
Sure.
And once he settled into his routine, he was able to connect with one of his receivers.
No doubt.
And I think the issue with Drake May is you look at what everyone thought was going to be a strength for the New England Patriots was going to be that offensive line. That offensive line got bullied.
Yes.
Like it was ugly to watch there for a while. Just the defensive line of Seattle was so overwhelming. But going back to what my point was going to be about the Seattle Seahawks is, again, like they catch lightning in a bottle, right? They find a way to get the number one overall seed. They get home field advantage in what is one of the best stadiums in the NFL. And again, the beneficiary of, the Rams, I still think the Rams are the best overall team in the NFL. They might not have won the Super Bowl. I still think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. Now you got to worry about that. That team going to run it back one more time. The San Francisco 49ers are a thorn in the side of everybody over here, but the simple fact that they made it to the playoffs, dominated the Philadelphia Eagles with a team that was hurt all season long. This is a well-coached team. It's a managed team, which hurts me to say that as someone who's a Dallas Cowboys fan, because I hate the San Francisco 49ers, of
course,
more than I hate most other things out there in the world. It's Philadelphia, San Francisco. Those are the two
right.
that I just cannot stand.
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, if you want to hate the Philadelphia Eagles even more, you could say that San Francisco won a Phillies victory because it was all defense.
Yeah, no, it was 100% that type of style. But again, the Seattle Seahawks, I think they'll be a good team. Yes. I don't know if I'm going to say they're going to be great. I look at that NFC, dude, and I think with the exact same way that I look at the AFC. New England's going to have a mountain to climb to be able to get back there. Seattle is also going to have a mountain to climb to be able to get back there when their team is healthy again, right? We've seen this with Philadelphia for whatever reason over the last couple of years. They flip-flop. One year they'll be dominant, which is what we saw last year. The next year they're absolute dog shit, limp into the playoffs, and find a way to just disappoint everybody in Philadelphia. So going off the history of what the Eagles are with Nick Sirianni, it would be safe to say next year might be a year where they're better. Right, and then you can look around at some of the other teams that are in the NFC. The Giants are going to be better.
Oh yeah,
they might not be a Super Bowl contending team next year, but that's going to be a team people are going to be scared of.
No doubt.
With that new coach, with John Harbaugh and all the stuff they've got over there, John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh,
Yeah.
and it's worth noting that you have one of the up and coming good quarterbacks, that young quarterback in Jackson Dart, who's only going to get better with a better offensive line and a better head coach. And, the fact is he's getting his weapons back next year. Scatterbo will be back, receiver-wise, your receiver back. So they're going to be very much improved, G-Man, in my opinion.
Anthony Sanchez asking who are the 49ers playing against in the next game. Unfortunately, the season is done.
Yeah,
we got to wait until August. We'll find out what that is. We don't even know what the schedule is going to be.
No, that comes out after the draft.
Yes, which I am super excited about. I don't get hyped up for the NBA schedule release.
No.
Major League Baseball schedule release is just a huge waste of time.
It is.
But the NFL schedule release, because it's only 17 games.
That's it.
It's one of those things where you got to really pay attention. You got to, if you want to go to the games, you got to find out which one you're going to go to, right?
Yeah, flies by too.
Tommy going on to say the New England had everything working in their favor this season. This year's Patriots team probably doesn't get out of the first round of the AFC if it was a traditional AFC that we had seen over the last 4 or 5 years. Brother, I don't even think they make it to the playoff. I guess they win the division. But, yeah, like this New England Patriots team, they are going to have their medal checked next season, right? Because now you play that first place schedule.
Yes.
Now you play against the really good teams. You don't get to get fat off of the bad teams in that fourth place schedule that they had going into this season. How are you going to handle that pressure? Because we saw it happen with the Washington Commanders. Last year, the Washington Commanders play a fourth place schedule. They get themselves all the way to the NFC Championship game. Now they have expectations to get back there again. And in 2025, they absolutely shit the bed.
Yeah, you weren't wrong. I told you were a plus as usual, and you predicted it, and who knows what's going to happen next year. But, yeah, I mean, look, we know the NFC East will be loaded. The AFC East is going to be loaded. Buffalo, again, a huge disappointment. They just continuously – they got a new stadium opening next year. But, man, they keep goofing at the most inimedial times. It's sad because I love Josh Allen, but what is his legacy going to be?
I feel like the window may have already closed on Buffalo. Again,
I don't think so.
We talked about New England, right? Like this was a very easy road to a Super Bowl for the New England Patriots. It was the exact same thing for the Buffalo Bills, right? Like they should have beaten Denver because they are the team that's been there before. They have the experience. All the stuff was playing into their hands. They wind up going into Denver. And again, just laying an absolute egg, right? Like it's just not good enough. And then you look at what's going to happen. That Josh Allen contract is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The issue with Buffalo Bills is, okay, we don't have a receiving core. You're not going to have the money to have a receiving core. Now you're going to have to wind up paying Cooks. You're going to have to wind up paying Dawson Knox if you want to try to keep him around. You got to try to keep that offensive line around to protect Josh Allen. What are you going to have left to give him the receivers that he needs in order to get by? And I think we see the biggest difference between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is when Patrick Mahomes lost number one receiver, he won 2 more Super Bowls.
Yeah, right. But people need not forget at the very end of that Denver game, Allen had 2 chances to win it in regulation, and he overthrew his receivers both times. Mahomes wouldn't do that. I'm just saying,
And I understand, like, people are going to come back at us and be like, well, the referees screwed Buffalo because that wasn't an interception. It should have been the ball goes to the receiver or whatever. You go down
to that.
The fact of the matter is Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times. You cannot win games when your quarterback's doing that.
He lost on that game. He knows it. So, yeah, I mean, you have got to be better than that. You know what you got to do? You got to do what Sam Darnold did in the postseason and not commit a turnover and play flawless football. And that's how you win a Super Bowl. I mean, look, you got to give the guy credit where credit's due, honest to God, because, everybody keeps saying he's going to shit the bed. And the guy just was a great game manager every single game. He wasn't an MVP, but he did what you need to do in order to win a Super Bowl, especially when you have a superior defense on the other side.
You managed the game, but he was slightly better than what your normal game manager
was. I mean,
especially in that NFC Championship game against the Rams.
Absolutely, and say whatever you will about Sam Darnold going forward, but the guy's got a Super Bowl ring. I mean, that's all you got to say. Enough said. You know what I mean? When history looks back at him, that's what you're going to say about him.
Tommy Canonzo reminding us the players, the teams that the New England Patriots had to beat. Is UTEP on TV right now? I believe they are. I'm looking at this little TV over
Liberty,
here.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
If
there's a way that we can,
David, maybe you want to ask.
I think that's ESPN2. I want UTEP on one of these TVs in here. We got a ton of baseball right now, but I would like to have UTEP on one of these things. So I easily get sidetracked. I just saw the UTEP logo.
Big one or the small TV?
It's a little small TV.
Because I know they're at home. They're playing Liberty. Right now.
Yeah. So
is the Mark
shout out to UTEP. But Tommy reminding us who the Patriots played.
It's funny they have it on one little TV.
I know.
It's like,
it should be.
Are we not in El Paso?
It should be on the larger screen.
It should be, especially for us to talk about.
I mean, whatever it is, what it is. You know what? I understand. You got to do better before you get the loss. You got.
They have won 2 in a row though. They have one during the ninth place in CUSA.
Oh man, that's a long 2-game winning streak.
They couldn't leave CUSA faster, and then it's going to be even more difficult in the Mountain West.
Good luck.
Yeah, I was going to say the competition just gets better.
It was Herbert, Stroud, and Jared Stidham was the quarterbacks that Drake May and the New England Patriots had to get past in order to get to the Super Bowl. That's not murderer's row, right? Like think about a couple of years ago when Tom Brady won his last Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
It was beating Aaron Rodgers. It was beating Drew Brees. It was beating Patrick Mahomes. That right there is something to write home about.
That's what Brady did. And he was with the new team.
With a brand new
and
team.
it was the COVID year. And he had to win the NFC Championship game in -20 Green Bay that year. So, people don't realize how great of a feat that really was, because not only are you trying to learn a new organization and a new program, thank you, but I think this one here, these, thank you, but
these two,
or these two would be great. Yeah,
yes.
UTEP basketball.
Yes.
Yeah. No, because we can't see that one. I'm just like, thank you though. But I'm just making a general statement. If I had eyes in the back of my head, it would be great. But anyways, David can tell what's going on. But I mean, I sometimes I'm too honest like this. But I mean, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I mean, I think this is a situation where God, I lost my train of thought.
I could tell.
Because that was just funny. That was just a funny.
It was good.
It was a funny life story, was it?
But
not?
yeah, so we're going over what Tom Brady had to do in order to get to the Super Bowl.
To win to learn a new program and go from, where you're at for 30 years to all of a sudden winning in other places. It would have been great if they won a playoff game or two, but then to win a Super Bowl in the COVID year, which was a fucking year anyways, nothing short of remarkable.
And then the one person that I feel bad about is a guy who I think is super underrated as like an athlete, very much properly rated as a quarterback, is Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Because that was off the heels of his amazing 30-30 season, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, 5,000 yards through the air.
Yes.
Couldn't make the playoffs with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. All Tampa Bay Buccaneers do is go out and get the greatest quarterback of all time, and they win a Super Bowl just by getting rid of you.
And they get Gronk too. That was the cherry on top.
They dust off the corpse of Gronk and bring him out of retirement.
And he catches two touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Two tutties.
Yeah,
two tutties.
And he almost dropped. Remember, he almost dropped the Lombardi Trophy in the water.
Yes,
he's like, "Here you go, buddy."
Oh.
That would have been hilarious if they had dropped it in the
Gronk
water.
is one of those guys that I would love to party with, but I would also hate to party.
Yeah, that guy can enjoy himself, can he?
He's going to be the random dude at the party that tries to tackle people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be Gronk, just because he's big. He's a football playing polar bear.
Yeah.
That's all he is.
That he is. Look at this. This is cool.
So we spent more time than I initially wanted to on the big game. Once again, congrats to Seattle Seahawks. Congrats to the New England Patriots on making it. Wish the game would have been better. It is what it is. It's going to be a good, fun time for all that stuff. But we are now watching, and I wanted to talk about this. You mentioned it. Our UTEP Miners have won 2 straight games.
Amazing.
A couple of really close games because it came down to the last possession. One of them, I believe, was in overtime against New Mexico State.
Yeah, Jackson State. I think they won at Jackson State.
And now here they are, the 9th place team.
Playing the Liberty Flames. So we're undefeated in Conference USA play, 13-0. They're just absolutely great. These two teams played a month ago, and UTEP Liberty went on a second half tear and beat it really easily. Liberty is the creme de la creme of CUSA. Good team. So, I mean, at least UTEP's within a couple points, or actually they lead by 2 right now, but we'll see what happens. Can they tear off a score here and do well again?
Tommy yelling at me, all caps. The Super Bowl, Mike. F that big game crap, LOL. Hey, I got to say what it is. You're not the one who would, the big dick of the NFL swinging towards you, man. It's me that would have to deal with that. So I got to make sure I walk a proper line. We are working on some stuff for what might be coming on in April, so I have to, be nice to the NFL.
Absolutely.
I can't,
The stadium to the left here is the Tokyo Dome. Do you remember what one of the greatest sporting events of all time? I'll give you a hint. The greatest upset in boxing history was held at the Tokyo Dome.
Are we talking about something with George Foreman, I'm assuming?
No.
Muhammad Ali?
No.
What is it?
Tyson Douglas.
Oh, Buster Douglas?
Yeah,
that was in the Tokyo Dome?
It was in the Tokyo Dome. And
wow.
then we celebrated the anniversary. Was February 11th, 1990. So we recently celebrated the, what was that, 30, how many years is that? 40?
36
year anniversary.
Jesus.
And, that's still to this day, in my opinion, one of the top 5 greatest sporting upsets in history, and obviously the greatest upset in boxing history, hands down.
I wonder why that match was in Tokyo.
Probably because nobody gave a shit about it. It was such an obscure fight. Tyson was getting ready to fight Holyfield, right? Because that fight was in the works for years. nobody even Vegas didn't want that. So they're like, okay, we'll go to Tokyo, Japan to fight this one, you know.
And Japanese crowds are so
It
awesome.
was 40,000 people.
I love like Japanese crowds in wrestling and baseball, especially in baseball.
And they're right
So
there.
much
They're
fun.
you know, have the baseball game. That stadium, beautiful stadium.
World Baseball
You know.
Classic sold out. Like you would have World Baseball Classic games here in the United States that wouldn't sell out.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, you know, it is worth mentioning. Going back, man, I love that fight. That was an amazing fight. But that, you know, Tyson had recently fired Kevin Rooney, which is why he lost that fight as well. His corner was horrible. So, anyways, little history lesson for you guys there at the Tokyo Dome.
I was about to be 6 years old. It was a week before I turned 6.
So I was about 11, I think, 12 maybe, and I watched it with my grandfather in Chicago.
Nice.
And I'll never forget that fight. I watched the whole thing and I couldn't believe he lost.
Tommy Carranza reminded me the 5-time big game champs doesn't work for me. It's 5-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I agree with that. Like in hindsight, we could say they won the Super Bowl. But when we talk about the game, because of whatever rules the NFL has, every other year it has to be referred to as
The big game.
the big game, or the game that is superior to all others.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
the way
that's
that
the
I would call
That's the way you got to do it, right? You know.
it. You got to follow the rules, brother.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you got to do, and everyone knows me. Completely all about the rules.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. You are not a rule breaker at all.
I have never been, and I never will be.
Your referee shirt with black and white stripes is on the way.
Thank you, Dave. I love it. You imagine me as a referee?
Yeah.
I'd be the worst effing referee of all time.
You'd be a great referee.
I do want to remind everybody, I do have some merch out there. You can check it online. I had it on my Instagram page. I'll share it once again. We have the Fat Tips Day shirt coming up. My birthday on Mardi Gras, so obviously we're sinking into it.
I love
Fat
it.
Tips Day with all that stuff here. Look how amazing that looks. Check it out on the Neon Peacock. That's where I was able to get it on. That might be the place I go to now for like all my merch store ideas. I gave them like the design. I gave them like all the information I wanted. Cost me $15 to put it on their website, and I get a small portion of whatever.
That's freaking awesome.
So,
Look at that shirt. That shirt's really. Does it have anything in the back?
No, it doesn't. I
You
didn't
should
want
have
to put
the big
anything on the
tip on the
back.
back.
I should. Oh, that would have been great.
I
The
mean,
big
that's-
tipper.
That's what I would have said. The big tip. Huge. You put huge tip. Huge tip in quotation marks. You know.
Yes, but you can check out my social media at Mr. Tip 33. That's where all the merch stuff is going to go. Enough shameless plugging for me right now. Our UTEP miners are showing. No, that's not UTEP's buzzer beater.
No.
That is Liberty's buzzer beater. Did both of those buzzer beaters happen against New Mexico State?
It may
They
have.
did.
It's looking like it. Yes. Look at
Holy
that.
shit! New Mexico State snake bitten
Yeah.
by buzzer beaters. Did that happen earlier this week or earlier this year?
Recently, I don't know. I have to look at the date. You know, but it looks like it happened recently, though. That's for sure.
UTEP right now with a 20-15 lead in the first half of basketball. 6:50 to go here in that first half. I'm excited, Brandon. You know me. I love basketball, right? Now that the NFL's over, I can start focusing back in on basketball. I've been kind of watching a ton of basketball. You know, I'm a huge Spurs fan.
Yeah.
You see the hat on right now. I am still, like, it's year number 3 of this, and I am still in awe of watching Victor Wembanyama play basketball.
He's something else. He's really something else. Definitely one of the top players on the NBA. And, I mean, I'd love to see your team eventually win another championship.
I believe that the Spurs are ready to win a championship this year, and it's hard for me to keep my head straight right now. But you know, I'm always straight-laced. We spoke about it. Don't break any rules. Straight-laced, and I don't get too emotional when it comes to my teams. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the defending world champion. The San Antonio Spurs have beaten them 4 out of 5 games this year. And these games have not been close.
No.
And it gives me hope. And the worst thing a team can do to you is give you hope.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys did it to us in the middle of the season where, you know, it was terrible at the beginning. Then they break off a nice long winning streak. We're thinking to ourselves, there's a shot. There's a legitimate shot. This team could do something.
And then it became the Cowboys.
And then they rip your heart out. I feel, and I'm not used to this with the San Antonio Spurs. They have been the most consistent sports team that I have as a sports fan, right? Like, we look at that long run. What was it? 22 straight seasons of making it to the playoffs. 20 seasons in that time frame where you won 50 games or more. 5 championships in that time frame, right? Like, this is a team that's been good for an extended period of time. They sucked for a while. I took it, right? Like, I had 20 years of greatness. We can suck for a couple of years.
Sure.
And now they're on this bubble. You can see it's there for them, right? Like, they're teetering toward being one of those great teams, and you can sustain greatness in the NBA longer than you can in the NFL, longer than you can in Major League Baseball. And I'm trying not to get ahead of myself with this team, especially watching the way that they played this week leading up to the All-Star break. A lot of people don't realize that. Yesterday was the Futures game in the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Today is the skills competition. Tomorrow is the All-Stars game.
Yeah.
Right? Terrible booking by the NBA, but don't ever go head-to-head with Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's crazy, no?
It's dumb.
That's dumb. Why would they do that?
Unless you're hoping that every romantic bar you go to is going to have the skills competition on one of the TVs.
Yeah. Well, the big game is on Valentine's Day
Next year.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, we can call it the Super Bowl next year. So
Super Bowl,
the
yeah.
Super
So
Bowl.
the Super Bowl's on Valentine's Day. Unheard of.
Oh, man,
I mean, that's crazy.
that is wrong on so many levels. Like, okay, NFL.
Why?
Hear me out.
Why? So why would you have it on Valentine's Day?
You already have.
Kelsey and Taylor.
I mean, but there's no guarantee that if the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl is on Valentine's Day, the conspiracy theorists out there are going to go wild.
Yeah. First of all, Mahomes has quite a recovery.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer he's going to be out next year. You got to several games. no?
Mahomes is probably going to come back halfway
Through the season. So I mean, it's not safe to say, but I don't know that they'll definitely be the representation in the AFC next year. Let's put it that way.
Tommy, the more you say it, the more, or the more you show me that it bothers me, the more I'm going to say it in all caps with the angry face. It is not the big game.
It's not a big game. It's a huge game.
Many people, smart people are saying
it's a huge game, not just big, huge. Tommy.
Now I know what the solution is. Call it the Donald Trump Bowl.
Oh God, yeah. Everyone will be dropping passes. I'm sure balls will be in mouths for no time.
I know you enjoy that too.
Moving on. So the NBA, right? Like you have all this stuff. NFL. I wanted to plead to you here. You have, everything you do. Everybody loves, right? Like we don't complain. We don't do any of this stuff. You own the beginning of the year. You own August all the way through February. Like that's all yours. You own Thanksgiving. You are now planting your flag on Christmas, which used to belong to the NBA. Now it's yours. Yeah. You're planting your flag on New Year's Day, which used to belong to college football. Now it's yours. Don't do this to men. Please, for the love of God, don't have another Super Bowl on Valentine's Day where you have to determine, do I love my spouse or do I love my sport team? Because that is a nightmare scenario.
Or one possible compromise would be the wives or girlfriends saying, "Hey, sweetheart, please watch the halftime show with me."
There's going to be more breakups because of that.
There's going to be a single streak that happens.
Yeah.
Because oh man.
Yeah, I love you, but not as much as the football.
I mean, I've said it a bunch of times, right? Like you could be in a long-term relationship with your spouse or significant other. I've been in a long relationship, 20 years. We're going to go on 21 total here. I've loved the Dallas Cowboys much longer than that. Yeah, so the Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl.
You love Destiny, but not not as much as you love the Cowboys.
I'm not going to say that.
I'm sorry, Destiny.
But it's obvious.
Right.
It goes without saying.
She leaves. He's gone like a far in the wind.
What a great
that's so funny.
Or look at it this way, we can have more women coming into Buffalo Wild Wings here at Sunland Park.
There we go. Tommy's saying that I want to be called Big D Tom, but I can't. I'm Average Tom. It's Super Bowl. I don't care what the NFL says.
He's below average, Tom, actually.
That's only because it's cold.
Yes.
It's only because it's cold.
It's getting warmer, though. Here it's getting warmer. So
Dave mentioned we are live at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive. Brandon, let everyone know.
Well, we have the late night specials. You have 3 to 6 p.m. happy hour Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. Every day, $2 off all tall crafts and margaritas, $3 shorty shots, $5 premium drink, $6 apps. And, of course, check this out. This is a shtick that you can't beat here, that have a $19.99 special. So basically pick 6. You get 2 fountain drinks, 2 entrees, and 2 sides. Also, Tuesday BOGO, 50% off traditional wings, $6, $10, or $15. Thursday's BOGO, boneless wings, $6, $10, or $15. And you have this salted caramel espresso martini that looks really good. So we may try that. You were saying.
I mean, I'm going to, right? Like,
are you really?
I am.
So you don't like? That's awesome, dude.
I'm not I'm not a big fan of like caramel, whatever people call it, right? Like I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm not a big fan of martinis. But it looks good.
It does. To me, it's definitely an after lunch or dinner drink. But could try it as a little appetizer, maybe. It's got Kahlua, salty caramel whiskey, and nitro espresso. So
Ooh.
hopefully you won't go to sleep for 3 hours after you drink this.
I think that's the thing that gets me is the espresso part.
Yeah,
right?
it's going to keep you up. I mean, if you're planning on taking a nap, don't drink it. But if you just like something sweet, then yeah, because I like martinis. I love a good martini. You've never had a martini for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm a weird guy. I've said it
like
1,000 times.
You like your beer?
I like my beer. I like whiskey. Like I have a new whiskey, Woodford Reserve. That's
good
a really good stuff.
It's good stuff.
I
drink
lean
it
more
neat?
towards tequila.
Neat?
Yeah.
Or with
Yeah,
rock?
I mean,
okay.
Well, I mean,
Or do you like it with rocks?
I like it with rocks.
It's
Yeah.
good with the
Plus,
rocks.
also, I have like rounded ones, so
Yeah.
like it looks awesome.
You
in
like the
my
round
glasses.
balls.
I most definitely do.
Yeah, the round balls are the best.
You're able to cup them so much
Oh,
better.
yes, they taste good in the mouth. Okay.
They're small little ones, so they make my hands look huge.
Poor Dave.
I could tell.
Dave's
He's
like
struggling right now. He's like, why do I do this?
Dave's
shit?
like Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for this shit.
One question for Destiny. Were you the designated driver coming into Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yes.
Of course
Oh,
he
good.
was.
So that if you have the super duper martini, you're still in good shape.
Yes. That's exactly the
good.
way that it goes.
Destiny has bumper sticker. If you don't like my drive, get off the sidewalk.
Sorry. Nope. I couldn't resist that. Sorry.
Tommy's saying that it's winter, Brandon. Leave me alone. Everything grows in spring.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear, buddy. What's going to be that kind of party, you know? We'll be drinking espresso martinis.
3:25 to go here in the first half. Our UTEP Miners currently
By 10.
leading 25-15 over the Liberty Flames. Liberty much better than I thought they were
They're
as far
really
as their
good.
schedule goes.
Yeah, they're a very good team. You know, it's one of those teams that could make a little noise in the tournament. Again, they're undefeated in CUSA play, and they've won a ridiculous amount of games consecutively. Could win a game or two in the tournament. Who knows? They're pretty good. But right now they're down by 10.
I love how traveling does not get called in basketball anymore
Never.
because I just saw someone take 5 steps,
Yeah.
do a spin move, and then do a drop step.
Yep.
But what do I know about playing basketball at all? It's nice to see, though, because you can look right now. It's not a, obviously, huge UTEP crowd here in the Don Haskins Center, but there's more people there than what we normally see at a UTEP game. So it means they're starting to win some of that fan base back. That I thought that winning against Mexico State, it making it to the Sports Center, it making it out to like all those things. UTEP needs things like that in order to like get this fan base energized about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can somehow knock these guys off, that's 3 in a row. And obviously, they don't want to be on the outside looking into the tournament because, you don't even make your conference championship. And that's, oh boy, that's tough because I think the top 8 teams make it, right? The
Yeah.
last 2 don't. So, yeah, they don't make the conference championships or for the opportunity to at least play in the playoffs. It's a playoffs, let's call it that. Then it's not going to look good for the program, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you make it to the dance, right? That's all you got to do. And sure, this isn't March Madness,
pre-dance dance.
but make it to that dance.
That's what it
Have
is.
A little bit of time.
That's what it is.
Yeah, win a game maybe.
Yeah, it's
And
the opportunity to go to the playoffs.
it shows building blocks because how long has it been since UTEP's been in the NCAA? To what, 2010?
2010, 16 years.
Wow, man.
It's a long drought, man. That's way too long of a drought. I mean, it's just unbelievable how many dismal years programs had at this point.
And I mean, it would be one thing if it was just one sport, right? Like if you were bad at football, people get it because you have so much that you have to go up against recruiting in Texas. You're like the 19th best team in Texas. But in basketball, where you have that level of history, you should be able to capitalize on it. Like, I get it. We're going on 70 years now, which just sounds sacrilegious, or I guess a little over 50 years. Sacrilegious now for that time frame. But it's just they got to find a way to do better. And I feel like getting into the Conference USA tournament, winning a game or two, it'll do something.
Like it was hard enough for recruiting with against other teams in the state of Texas, but no, let's call a spade. They just don't have the money to pay these kids. I mean, you're not gonna get even halfway decent talent unless you can give them a little shekel nowadays. And they just, if you look at all the other upper echelons, I don't know if I said that word, echelon, in the state of Texas. I mean, are you going to be able to pay these kids like Texas and A&M and even Baylor and UTSA, whatever? can pay them. No, not only no, but hell no. So it's all about the Benjamins now. You're not going to go to UTEP because you're not getting paid.
So how was Keith Adams able to recruit for when her team did well?
I mean, that was back in the day before, they were getting paid, and ultimately
Exactly.
she had built a huge winner here. She had 2 NCAA, tournament appearances, a tournament win, a finals appearance in the WNIT. I mean, she had built a legacy, and I'm going to say this right now. I know she left to go to Wichita State, but she struggled since she's come back, and
I feel because she had to build it from the ground up.
and she really, and I know she went home, but she should have never left. I don't think she should have ever left. That's my opinion. She stayed.
2 minutes and 10 seconds that we've been talking about UTEP basketball, they have blown their 10-point lead and now trail by 2.
That's crazy. And we've been bullshitting just like literally
it's
like that.
It's been a 12
Enough
point run in 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's what you got to love about basketball. A 10-point lead is absolutely nothing.
And now they're down by 3 because of a free throw.
It can be erased literally in a minute and a half of BS, right?
And we were just singing their praises. You're getting everything.
They're
That's what it was.
phenomenal.
You know what? That's what it was. My fault, UTEP. I apologize. You were so used to me just jumping on you.
There's more than friends and family there.
And now the heartbreak Dak Prescott faced when he was able to be the quarterback that he aspired to be, and then within the same amount of time, you had problems with his accuracy.
I don't know that. Like Dak has always been good. I think the issue with Dak is more health, right? Like if and obviously whenever he had that catastrophic leg injury, like it was always how's he gonna bounce back?
Oh my, that's right.
And it's been like those little things like that. Like, but whenever Dak is healthy, and I've been crucified on this 1,000 times. I still think when Dak is healthy, he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Agreed.
And we saw that on display this year.
He's really good. I mean, he really is. Look what he's done with lesser talent. Look what he's able to do with great talent. Their offense is never an issue. Their offense is always great.
Whenever he's healthy.
Whenever he's healthy. Their defense is garbage. I mean, which is funny because a few years ago, the defense was pretty good. But
right, even the gambler admitted, I got to get fix my offensive line next season.
I think that's going to be.
Speaking of the gambler, Mike McCarthy going to Pittsburgh. That's the big gamble in my opinion. I don't really like that move.
That's
the Steelers.
One that shocks me as well.
A lot of people,
because you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and again, irrational hatred that I have towards teams. Pittsburgh is there because whenever I was a kid, all I remember is being, shoved down my throat, especially that last Super Bowl the Cowboys won, was how many times the Steelers beat the Cowboys in the 70s to win their Super Bowls, and how the Cowboys were such an underachieving team because of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I just remember that being shoved in your throat left and right, and you finally get to the Super Bowl. Dallas dominates that Super Bowl. I wind up hating Pittsburgh for just no reason whatsoever, despite one of my best friends being from Pittsburgh. He's not even a Steelers fan, though, so that shows you how terrible the Steelers are. But you look at what the Steelers have done, and the one thing you can talk about with them is that they've hired coaches that they've had for long periods of time, because you knew that coach was going to be good.
Yep.
You knew that coach was going to give you an opportunity to win, and you knew that coach was ultimately going to make your team competitive, but for a long period of time. Mike McCarthy is an older coach in the NFL now. Like he's a dinosaur roaming out there compared to some of the younger guys that are out there in the NFL, the Sean McVays, the Ben Johnsons, and people like that, right? So he's the dinosaur out here. You bring him in to try and persuade Aaron Rodgers to stay. So you have an old coach now with a 42/43-year-old quarterback, and you're handcuffed salary cap-wise. I don't see potential of growth here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's go with the hypothetical, right? Like, we know Mike McCarthy is a good regular season coach. You get to the playoffs again. You lose in the first round again because him and Mike Tomlin, basically the Spider-Man meme, just pointing at each other, the same exact guy. They both have a Super Bowl. They both have, really good coaching records. It's just it doesn't feel like it was a move forward. It feels like it wasn't a move backwards. It was just
lateral.
The same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, and it was an odd move. And I think there were better candidates out there, and it just seems like they kind of just settled ultimately. And I don't really know the philosophy behind making that kind of move. And last time I checked, it's about going forward and not just dealing with mediocrity. And if he had done anything in Dallas, it'd be like, okay, well, the guy's stock is up, but his stock was not up at all. So I wasn't crazy about him. Cowboys coach.
I would have liked to have seen Pittsburgh go after someone like a Mike McDaniel.
Sure.
Because he's a run-first type coach. Like, I know he had Tua. I know that he had Tyreek Hill. He had, all those things. But that offense for the Miami Dolphins was great because they were able to establish a run. You remember that season when they hung 70 up on Denver, right? They had the best offense in the NFL. The reason why was because Raheem Mostert led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. He had 22 rushing touchdowns that season. So I would like to see Pittsburgh go to that because you're going to say we had a defensive guy for 20 years basically, and Mike Tomlin. Now we want to get an offensive guy. Go get a younger offensive guy, someone that you can say, okay, maybe his playbook is a little different. Because now I look at Mike McCarthy and I sit there and I wonder myself, how much of his success in Dallas was based off of him calling the plays versus who was the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys at the time, and Brian Schottenheimer. He's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys calling the plays. And the Dallas Cowboys had, once again, a top 2 defense top 2 offense in the NFL this year. So I don't know how much of the success was based off of Mike McCarthy, how much of it was based off of Brian Schottenheimer, how much of that is based off of Dak, right? There's so much there. And when you look at what you got in Pittsburgh, you don't have what the Dallas Cowboys have. You don't have a good offensive line. You don't have good wide receivers. Sure, you got DK Metcalf, but that's about it. And DK Metcalf has a problem with drops, right? You got Kenneth Gainwell, that's okay, but that's not a great running back. You don't have a good offensive line. You have the oldest quarterback in the NFL right now who did not look good last year, was just the beneficiary of the NFC North being garbage. It's a weird thing for Pittsburgh to do, and it's so different from what Pittsburgh normally does that I think that's what the shock is.
Yeah, no doubt. And not only that, but I adamantly believe that Dallas lost some of those playoff games because of the way McCarthy coached and some of his unnecessarily dumb gambling moves. Where it's some people don't believe this, but yes, you can lose a game because of your coach. We see it all the time.
Well, I think that's one of the issues too, right? Is when you look at Mike McCarthy. Yeah, you're right. He lost a lot of games for the Dallas Cowboys because you would see just in his play calling how it would change from game to game, right? Mike McCarthy doesn't go for it on 4th down. Now Stephen A. Smith, all the people over at ESPN are Mike McCarthy doesn't go for it on 4th down. So what does he do the next game? He goes for it on 4th down at the 20-yard line on his own side. He screws it all up, right? Yeah. So you can see that he's very susceptible to what the media says about him.
There's gambling and there's dumb.
With a franchise as historic as both the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're always going to have a level of scrutiny. Look at what happened to Mike Tomlin, right? He never had a losing season, was constantly in the playoffs, and they were like, it's time to move on from this guy. Yeah. I don't understand the logic behind it. I guess I get it, right? Maybe it's just time for a new change or something like that. Is the fact that McCarthy's from Pittsburgh, is that the only reason why?
The whole Aaron Rodgers thing, but again,
Aaron Rodgers had him fired in Green Bay.
You're getting an old Aaron Rodgers, and it's a very odd situation. Again, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like move, and I understand why you moved on. Because again, you were a very stagnant organization. It was the same thing every year. It was make the playoffs, lose in the first round. Eventually, change is inevitable.
It was missionary, night after night.
Missionary gets old after a while. Cornflakes gets old every day. Yeah,
I like cornflakes.
I do too. I like missionary too, but I just. God, I'm sorry. I just couldn't help it. I just thought you'd do that for me.
How many times have you said that after missionary?
Maybe a few times.
Oh my God, I couldn't help it. Sometimes you just do that to me. The show's going off the rails. Once again, we're live over here at Buffalo Wild Wings 655 on the Park Drive. This is before we've had the espresso martinis that we're going to wind up having a little bit later.
Friends say your national syndicated friends that watch our show, do they think we're just two Louis Manganinis here or whatever?
Pretty much. But a lot of the time, they've known me for so long, and I think that's the cool thing about the group of audience that we have, and hopefully the new audience that we gain from time to time as well. Because I see the numbers, right? We're increasing as we go, which is always fun to see. Because for a while there, we lost a little bit of audience because of not being able to be as consistent as I would like to be or as you would like to be or any of that nature. But now, rebuilding all that, the core audience there and like the core friends that I have know my weird sense of humor, know that I can like go deadpan and like just say whatever the hell I want to say without seeming like a joke. But they understand who I am as a human being, and they know that I bring you down like an anchor.
And I'm sure they
and your friends in the industry are probably jealous of the things you get to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been told a few times like, man, I wish I could say these things, but sponsors and XYZ, I don't have any of that stuff that I need to answer to. And my whole mindset now would be like, okay, well, if you do want to sponsor whatever stuff it is that we're doing, you've got a decade now of film that you can go back and watch of how I do things a little differently, right? Like the world of sports should never be super serious because we're not playing the fucking game.
No,
Sorry, we're not playing the game.
No, we're not.
Look, even Kevin Harlan was able to do play-by-play of a kitten when it made its way on the
so
field.
good. So that's one of my favorite things Kevin Harlan has done. To me, the best sports voice in the radio industry.
Mesmerizing voice.
Like, I can't.
Really does. Not as good as yours. But
change that. Mark Messerschmidt, my friend on Facebook. No, we didn't see this. You are also one of the best names, one of the best voices in sports. Kevin Harlan does football, you basketball, two completely different things. I got nothing but love for you, my guy. My apologies, but yeah, like Kevin Harlan, dude, like the way that he was able to do that play-by-play for the Cat, like whenever he does the streak too. Oh, I got to go back. We got to find because there was a streaker during the Super Bowl this year. Yeah. I got to find the call that Kevin Harlan did to see what it sounds like.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I mean, and that guy, that's not the first time he's been a streaker at the Super Bowl. That's the funny part.
Oh, and
that's 2 times.
The cool thing too is that he had the meta glasses, so he's like recording himself as he does it.
He has it on the field. Yeah,
and then like you can tell he's like, I'm about to get knocked by this NFL player. Yeah. I'm sliding to the ground. I'm taking my L because I've already won.
I don't know. Is it still a prop bet? Is it still a streaker? Because he's betting on himself, making a lot of money.
Yeah,
what a shtick.
And you would. I feel like that guy's going to ruin it for everybody because now I feel like they're going to take it back.
I figured after the first time he did it, they would have taken it away because he's made a shitload of money off of these bets. And then he also had something painted on his chest supporting
like
this, that, and the other. And it's like they pay $10 million for a 30-second spot. This dude schleps on the field like a moron and gets free advertisement for the 30 seconds he was on. He ran like dude, almost the length of the field.
I was about to say he was moving.
He ran in through the end zone, okay, and then he ran all the way to the opposite around 20-yard line. Now 70 yards.
Obviously, don't do this because you don't want to be the person that gets caught. But the way that they did it was planned so well, right? Because I don't know if you saw like the POV from his meta glasses. His friend jumps over first, gets tackled by like all the security that's there. He jumps over like 2 seconds later, he's just got a clear route.
I saw that, so I wondered. I thought he got tackled first, but that was his buddy.
Yep.
And then it kind of led the way, and he's like, boom.
It was like following your blocker, right? Like it was a perfect drawn play for football. I just imagine them, it's like in the coach's room for football or basketball, right? You got your X's and O's. Yeah. So, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to jump the wall here. They're going to come get you. And then I got a gap over this way.
You know what's amazing? It's like it's supposed to be one of the most heavily secure areas on earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's somehow, some way, people still get on the field with ease.
I wouldn't say with ease.
Well, it's not hard. That's what she said. But I mean, no, but it's not. I mean, no, it's like literally you sorry, you jumping on the field, the security, these big guys are going to stop you, and but yet they get on and they streak. You know what I mean?
That segment from Brandon the Iceman Cone brought to you by Blue Chew.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, by the way. That's my next segment.
It'll be hard later, I promise.
You would hope, at least, and Viagra. Okay.
Once again, Buffalo Wild Wings. Sorry, this is the way the promos happen, but we're up against the clock. So that's what's happening right here. 655 Sunland Park Drive, the home of Fire and Ice. We are not going to be here next week.
No, my brother's getting married, so he's got
to.
Brandon's going to Vegas for a bachelor party. Weird, I didn't get that invite. Well, we were friends, but whatever. I'm just some guy apparently. Yeah. I just some fucking
your
dude
who
throws
got
over
lost
the side.
In the mail.
Oh yeah, who still does that anymore? if you're using mail to send out invitations, you're a horrible human being. There's so many different ways to do it.
There is
655 Sunland Park Drive. Over here on the west side of El Paso, Buffalo Wild Wings. Brandon, one more time, what are those specials?
You got a lot of specials. $19.99. You got a hell of a deal. So check this out. This is great. $19.99 pick six meal, 2 fountain drinks, 2 entrees, 2 sides. BOGO 50% off traditional wings. Tuesdays $6, $10, or $15. Thursdays BOGO boneless wings $6, $10, or $15. And of course, you have this espresso martini, the pick 4 appetizers. A lot of great stuff.
I just want to give everybody a quick update because I'm sure we were talking about the UTEP basketball game. That has since seemingly moved because we are watching what is now ESPN 8 the Ocho. And
I would rather watching this guy.
There is a lubed up staircase that everyone is trying to climb up to.
I know you enjoy that.
Because this is apparently more entertaining than the University of Texas at El Paso playing basketball.
They took our game off again. I don't get it. I'm curious as to why they did that. But okay, thank you. We could do play-by-play. The guy gets to the 10. He's up the 5th stair. Oh, he falls again.
It's called Slippery Stairs.
Yeah, slippery stairs. It sounds like a fun game.
So I was at ESPN the first year that they sank into the ESPN 8 the Ocho stuff, and all the cool stuff they had around the ESPN campus for us to just mess around with was awesome. And then we got to meet some of these athletes. I use that word very loosely here.
Yeah.
Some of these athletes,
fell before
Jesus,
she even
dude.
got up there. And they got a bunch of Phillies here too. That's the funny part.
And the thing is it's not just it's lubed upstairs. They consistently just spray water
Look
on
at this chick in the red, man. She's almost at the top. She's fast. This is great. We should.
She's trained her whole life for this.
She has.
The chick in the red, as Brandon says, making a lead up to the front.
Oh,
and the one in pink
grabs
wins.
the thing that looks like a thing.
Oh, I think the one in pink won.
I think so.
The one in pink grabbed it first. I thought.
No, the red girl. The red girl did. Pretty in pink. Boy, I should watch this. I need to watch this more often. This is nice.
Brandon the Iceman Cohn has already scheduled what his entire weekend watching schedule will be.
What do you want to do for Valentine's Day, honey? Well, let's watch pretty girls go up ice things here and grab what looks like a thing,
It looks like a plunger. Is it a bell?
No, it looks like more than a plunger. But anyways, that's time for another episode of Fire and Ice.
Espresso martinis.
That does not look like a plunger, dude. Look at her grab that thing.
Yeah. It's a bell, but
Dude,
it's
it
got
looks
a
like
look
more
to
than a
it.
bell,
Yeah.
my friend.
It
looks like more than a bell.
I understand what you're talking about. We'll see you another time, everybody. What a way to end the show.
Valentine's Day,
Happy
everybody.
Valentine's Day. Fat Tips Day coming soon on